have all come here for an excursion of Lviv, and I want to start by saying a few words about the avenue of Svoboda. We are in the avenue. The city center was made here, and the river Poltva runs in the underground canal. A lot of landscaping was done in the upper area, and the Lviv nobility once built their houses, hotels and cafes here. It was a favorite place for celebration. To your left you can see the remains of a fortress wall that was built in the medieval times and protected the city. The architect Zaharov constructed the Bank of Galicia, and it has a lot of arts and crafts there that were made by the craftsmen of the Western Ukraine. Here we can see the monument of Ukrainian poet Taras Shevchenko. It was unveiled on 14th of August 1992. One can't imagine Ukrainian literature without Taras Shevchenko, who once fought for the independence of the country. His poem Testament is counted as the second anthem of Ukraine. We are approaching the line of medieval fortification. It was until the 19th century one of the entrances to the city, but in the 19th century the authority ordered to pull down the walls as it was of no use for defense. Also behind the walls of fortification we can see a nightclub. It was erected for the guardhouse. It was from the architectural point of view one of the early examples of classicism in Lviv.
Here we can see the Latin Cathedral. It is one of a few constructions which survived the disaster in the year 1527. The first stone in its foundation was laid in 1360, but the work was finished 120 years later. Latin Cathedral is a configuration of different styles. First it was in Gothic style, but then it was rebuilt in the Rococo style.
In the middle of the 14th century, German colonists commissioned by King Casimir III laid a fundamentation for a classical European town with Market Square. King desired to build a classical European town with the most innovative technologies in those times, so he invited architects and craftsmen from Germany. There are 45 buildings in one square. The fire destroyed medieval Gothic Lviv in 1527, yet a few fragments of Gothic style survived the disaster. The tall, narrow house has only 3 windows. If people wanted to have more windows in their houses, they had to have a royal permission, and they paid bigger taxes.
So we are in a Rynok Square. It's the most popular building in Lviv's Ratusha. Some few words about Ratusha. It's the first town in 1835, following a Venice classic style. In the medieval time, the town hall was not only the center of state power, but also a place where meeting internationals or including So in this building is very popular clocks where you could see a hour. Just online got the town hall with the town's coat to arms on their sheets.
For a very long time, the square in front of the cathedral was used as a burial place. All the authority wanted to have their chapels and and family walls in as close to the cathedral as it's possible. Some of them were built inside the cathedral or were attached to it. At the end of the 18th century, the city authorities forbade burial on the square, and most of the chapels were pulled down. Only two have been preserved since the 17th century. The Bohem's Chapel is the masterpiece of the Renaissance epoch. It was built in 1611, but it took then another 17 years to complete the decoration of the chapel. It was a burial of the Lviv merchant, which originally came from Hungary, George Boyd.
At the corner of the city hall you can see the statue of Neptune together with three other states of Adonis, Diana and Amphitrite. They were made by the sculptor Cartman Whitner and installed in the place of the formed water wells. As it was mentioned, the square used to have the execution place. Nowadays the execution column is a relic of the History Museum. At the time it was constructed close as Neptune Fountain. It witnessed the beheading of three rules of Moldova, one of whom was Ivan Pitkov.
In front of the former guardhouse there is a monument to the most courageous Ukrainian Cossack, Ivan Pitkov. He once headed the fight of Moldovan and Ukrainian people against the Turkish Sultan in the 16th century. But he had to retreat one battle against the Polish king. The Polish king didn't want to have any complications with the Turks as he was preparing for the Russian war. So he ordered to execute Ivan Pitkova, and Ivan Pitkova was executed in 1579 in the marketplace of
House number 10, called Lubomirski Palace, was the ownership of Prince Lubomirski. This grandiose palace intended in size and appearance to give an impression of its owner's wealth and power. Nowadays it houses the Museum of Furniture and Chinaware. The collection consists of royal furniture reflecting the taste and requirements of aristocracy and tradesmen furniture.
House number 4 is known as the Blackstone House. It was built in 1589. The widow of Lviv Partition commissioned its construction. 7 years later it was sold to a merchant and pharmacist Jan Lorentzovich, who opened here one of the first pharmacies in Lviv at the end of the 17th century.
The Pharmacy Museum in Lviv was opened in 1966 in the building of old drugstore at the corner of Market Square. The drugstore was established in 1735 by William Natural, a military pharmacist, and it's called under the Black Eagle because in those times all pharmacies has its own symbols, and the symbol plays over the entrance. The museum consists of 16 rooms which exhibit antique dishes, medicines, and books, and even are constructed as an academy workshop.
By the way, in this room you can treat yourself with iron wine, which is sold here, and the iron wine is often bought as a souvenir from the pharmacy museum. The next room is the so-called material room. Formerly medicines were stocked here, and now the collection of ancient medicines, equipment and way of preparations are showed. However, the most interesting exhibit is the ancient druggist machinery that used to be used for making pills. The exposition telling the history of pharmacy from ancient times to present days can be seen in the third room. And the first one realistically recreates old druggist laboratory. Its exhibits introduce different stages of plant inputs, processing and medicine production from it. Pharmacy Museum's most mysterious part is its dungeons, where early 18th century interiors are recreated. Oak stairs lead from dungeons to the courtyard.